everyone, myself Swati Jayavant Kokate from Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. Students, today we are going to see a very interesting lesson number 5 of civics, that is judiciary. Students, just recall what we have learnt in previous lessons, that is why do we need a parliament or understanding laws. What do you understand from those lessons? Just recall, we have seen that why do we need a parliament. In that we have seen which system or the parliament, how it is responsible for making laws, and those laws should be followed by each and every person for the smooth running or smooth functioning of the society or the country as a whole. In that also, again next lesson we have seen understanding laws. In that we have seen what are laws. Okay, parliament, it makes laws, but again what are laws? Okay, then what are the different types, or what we can understand, or who are responsible, means we as a people or individual of a democratic society, we are responsible. We should know what is law and whether we are following it or no. Now in this lesson number 5, judiciary, okay, these laws are made, we are following, but in case if many people they don't follow the law or they don't follow the instructions, or they just avoid it and go through another path, then who is responsible, which is the authority to take hold of these people, who will punish them? All these also should have authority, isn't it? So now we are going to see all the detailed form which types of judiciaries are there in this lesson number 5. So let us have a look towards this lesson, judiciary. So in the first glance only of newspapers, so many of the news are there that which of the things country or in this country are followed. But if we take a, what we can say, if we can say that the rulers of the law or those who are making law, if they some are close to that people and they just excuse them for not accepting the law or just not understanding or not obeying the law, then there may be cases that favoritism will be there, isn't it? So they will excuse that person. So it will be partiality, isn't it, children? So there should be a mechanism of courts that a citizen can approach when a law is violated. So if this law is violated, there should be some place for the common person to go to ask for their right when the law is violated and it harms or it affects the person. As an organ of the government, the judiciary plays a very crucial role in the functioning of India's democracy. So here comes the main crucial role, the center of the theme, that what is democracy? It is for equal for each and every person. So if these laws are not followed by each and every person equally, if someone follows the laws and if the other one violates it, then what is the use of democracy, isn't it? So it can play this role only because it is independent, means it is not dependent on any one person or any one system. So it should be followed by each and every person. What does an independent judiciary mean? Is there any connection between the court in your area? You must have listened to Supreme Court, which is in New Delhi now. So in this chapter we are going to see all these things. Now let us see what is the role of the judiciary. Fine. So, or just before that, just I will explain you the meaning of the judiciary. The rule of the law, okay, the rule of the law is enforced through a judicial system. Judicial system, what is judicial system? We have seen it is the mechanism of courts that a citizen can approach when the law is not obeyed or we can say violated. So, the rule of laws which is enforced through a judicial system, it is called as judiciary. As an organ or the state of the state, means it is the part of the state, the judiciary plays an important role for functioning of India's democracy, we have seen. So, it plays a very important role because it is independent. So, where we can see judiciary and all, where we have independent country, then we are going to see the role of judiciary. Okay. In this we are going to see three types: dispute resolutions, judicial review, upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Now see, what is the thing? Court takes the decision on a very large number of issues. So, these courts take the decisions, okay, they have not only one decision to take, many of the decisions it is taking. For example, now the court has taken the decisions that the students should not, the teacher should not beat the students, or sharing of water, river water between state. You must have read in many newspapers that there is a clashes or there are fights between the states, okay, for the distribution or sharing of water of that river, okay, or sharing between for that state or for that some place or for roads, isn't it? So, they can punish the people for that crime, whatever which is written or which is not followed by, violated by those people. So, broadly speaking, we can say that judiciary can work on the following three parts. Then first part we are going to see dispute resolution. Here, what is dispute resolution? The judiciary provides a mechanism for resolving disputes between citizens. So, between two persons or a group of persons or group of more than two also, it can come forward or it can help out to resolve the disputes. If there is any dispute between two persons or more than two or even group of persons, that is citizens, and also between citizens and the government, even if there are disputes between the citizens, okay, and government also, then also these resolutions can be solved. Also between two state governments, okay, here understand children what is dispute resolution. So, it might be between two person, between the citizen and the government, then between two state governments, okay, governments also two states, suppose Maharashtra or Karnataka, Punjab, like this, two different state also, between them also, and also the center and the state governments. Like this dispute resolution is a judiciary system which looks after these disputes. Now, next one is judicial review. What is this? Judicial review means that it is the final interpreter of the constitution, okay, the constitution makes laws, but whether afterwards it may be known that there are disputes or it is not followed or it is not little okay with one community or with one society, one part of the society. So, it has the power to strike down particular law passed by the parliament if it believes that these are violations of the basic structure of the constitution. This is termed as judicial reviews. Okay. So, this judiciary has the right, very important right, if some parts or if some laws are also passed and finalized also, then too if it is violated or it is not very useful for the people and people are being violated due to those laws, the judicial people or judiciary as a whole has the right to just strike down the law passed by the parliament, is okay. So, this is the structure, basic structure of the constitution. and this is called judicial review. So in this we can we have seen that which disputes can be resolved between person to person, person to government, or state government to governments, between the two states or the center and the state governments. And in judicial review we have seen that if the person or if the parliament passes the laws and it is not very useful, or it is making some violence between the society, then the this constitution or the judiciary has a right to just cancel the or strike out that law. Then next one we are going to see is upholding the law, and here upholding the law and enforcing the fundamental rights. So we have seen that upholding the laws and enforcing fundamental rights means every citizen of India, okay, he can or he or she can approach the Supreme Court or High Court directly if he or she believes that fundamental rights have been violated. So there are fundamental rights, we are having some fundamental rights, and if they are violated, then we can go directly to the court, High Court or Supreme Court. So in this example we have in 7th standard students, we had seen that Hakim Sheikh, if you remember, he was an laborer, okay, his condition was not economically so good, and so he was going to private hospital when he was not well, or he wanted to have some treatment in private hospital. He had met an accident and he wanted to go, if you remember. Then what had happened, due to some reasons doctors were not available in that government hospitals, also that treatment was not available, so he had to suffer a lot, and he went on from one government hospital to another like this something, and 8 to 10 hours were in a very crucial condition, very serious condition, he has to suffer a lot. So what he had done, he had filed a case against that government hospital in the court. So what the court had told or punished the hospital, government hospital, or to that particular persons who were responsible for this all things, they had told to compensate for whatever the compensation was there. They had told whatever the this were there, means to make him well, he has approached afterwards to some private hospital and he had paid the bills and all. So the government, the judiciary or the court has punished to those persons to compensate for the loss suffered, as well as to come up with the blueprint for primary health care with particular reference to treatment of patients during an emergency. So this was Paschim Banga Khet Mazdoor Sangh or Samiti versus State of West Bengal. So this was the case in 1996. Remember children, this was an incident. So he had filed a case and he got everything, each and every rupee back from the court or from those persons who were responsible for this condition. So you can just find out children which are the types of disputes or examples. You can write with pencil in your textbook. That is what will be the disputes between center and state, or between two states, between two citizens, and that are violated in the constitution, which may be the examples you can find out. Now we are going to see what is an independent judiciary. This is also very important part of this lesson children. What is then independent judiciary? Okay. So just imagine a situation children, that which is powerful politician or which is the government today has the force or which has power in its hands, which politicians they have, or they are the whole and encroached on the land belonging to your family. So within this judicial system, if the politicians are having this power to appoint or to dismiss the judge, who is the person who takes the decisions in movies or in newspapers also you must have seen, or in news on the televisions also, that the judge, okay, you have seen lawyers, judge, okay, then lawyers they put forward all the witnesses and all what is the case in front of court, and the judge finalizes, sees everything, studies on the things, what things have come, he makes all the victims and all, so which is true, which is false, who is correct and all things, and then he tells the decisions. Then if the judge only is afraid of the politicians, if all the things of judge, the person judge, his appointment, his dismiss or his transfer, everything is in the hands of politicians, then what is the use? He will think that if I will take any actions against the politicians or his favorite persons or his relatives, even though if they do any crime or if they do any wrong things against these laws, then I will be dismissed, or they will make my transfer to any long area, to a far area. So if this is the condition, then what is the use of this judiciary, isn't it? What is then, whether it will be a same kind of partiality again. So we are going to see here that the control of the politicians hold over this judge does not allow the judge to take an independent decision. So this lack of independence, so this judiciary, it should be independent, it should not be forced by any politicians, any above, no one is above this, okay. So the judge, he has the right, and also he is not, he or the system as a whole is very independent. So although we often hear that rich or powerful people in India try to influence the judicial process, the Indian constitution protects against this kind of situation by providing for the independence of the judiciary. So what I want to say here is that it is a independent judiciary. Suppose the judge is there, no one has the right to appoint or to appoint the judge, or this political parties, they also don't have the right to transfer his position from one place to another or dismiss him. All these rights are not in the hands of politicians. Also it is very, very difficult if the if the person or the this one judge is appointed, to disappoint or to just remove him from his position is very difficult once appointed. So is it clear, children, what is independent judiciary? It means that the politicians, they don't have the hold, they don't control the judiciary systems. So it has its different independent laws, independent rules, and it has the decision making authority on its own. It does not have to depend on the politicians or the ruling party or the opposition party, whoever it is. So one aspect of the independent society or this independence is that separation of powers. So we have seen that in chapter 1, it is the key feature of constitutions. So different constitutions have different separate powers. If all are having that powers, anyone can, or powers means those what we call is authority to have that, pass that some things, or to just follow the things, or right to make some decisions, means you can say separation of powers. So in a democratic country, this is the main feature of the constitutions, that we are having separation of powers. Then what this means here is that other branches of government, that is the legislature, executive, cannot interfere in each other's work. So the courts are not under the government and do not act on their behalf. So for the above separation of work, well, it is a crucial that all judges in High Court as well as Supreme Court are appointed within very little interference from the other branches of government, and So these governments are not responsible, or they don't interfere in the appointments of judges of High Court as well as Supreme Court, and there is a little interference of these people of other branches of government, and also if these persons are appointed, the judge or the officers of for the judiciary, then no one can remove them. It is very difficult to remove this judge. So it is the independence of the judiciary that allows the courts to play a important central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and the executive. So here the judiciary, it allows the courts to just play an important role, and it also ensures that there is no misuse of powers by the legislature and as well as the executing party. So it plays a crucial role in protecting the fundamental rights of the citizens, because anyone can approach the court if they believe that their rights have been violated or not followed. Okay. So each and every person has the right to follow, to run to the court, to walk into Supreme Court or any High Court to tell the court that these things have happened with me which were not right, and I want the justice now. So now we are going to see what is the structure of the courts, okay, in India. Okay, one court is there, or what are the systems or what are the structures of the courts in India? There are three different levels of courts. There are several courts at lower level. So you must have listened, children, that we fight for each and every right. So it is not necessary that everything should be filed in the police station, or there is always a greater or crimes are there. Sometimes it happens that at a lower level also there is a in the last lesson in some things also we have seen that the women's rights are also violated. So these are to the lower level, means it should not go that there are too much fights or quarrels, then it can be solved at a lower level. There is no need to have too much crimes or like this in these things. Fine. So the rights for children also, isn't it? All these things can be solved at a lower level. Many examples are there for this also. So we can see from lower level to the apex. Apex means we can see, just I will explain you with this triangle, children. Here comes the lower part. Okay, you can say that it is a lower court. Okay, this section you can say it is a lower court. If the problems are not solved here, if you are not happy with the decisions taken by this lower court, you can approach to the High Court. Some decisions are taken by the High Court. Then if again the High Court does not agree, or you cannot satisfy their things, then it will not give any decision in favor of you, and you are disappointed from this also. Then at the apex, okay, this is the apex, here is the Supreme Court, and it is the final decisions will be taken by the Supreme Court. So this is the structure. You have to remember this triangle, children. To the lower, okay, to the lower part, there may be many people or many authority are there more here. Okay, more people are there who can tell the decisions at the lower court. Then comes the High Court. If it is not followed, you don't satisfy with these decisions at the lower court, you can just run to High Court for your justification. Then here also, if you are not justified, you can contact or you can go to the Supreme Court for your satisfaction. Whatever things have happened, the Supreme Court is the final court where you can go for the things which are not or violated by the other party. So here now let us see the structure. In this triangle also very neatly you have understood, but in this several courts at the lower level, while there is only one at the apex level. So in the lower level we have seen there are many courts, fine, but at the apex we have seen at the top only there is one court, that is Supreme Court. And the courts that most people interact with are what are called subordinate or district courts. So these courts where most of the people interact or they go there for small reasons are called as subordinate or district courts. These are usually at the district or tehsil level or in the towns, and they hear many kinds of cases. So minor things which are disputes are there between for area, for water, for lands, they can solve at this level. So each state is divided into district, that is presided over by a district judge, and each state has a high court which is the highest court of that state. So the court which is the state which has a high court, it is the highest court of that state. Okay. Now suppose we have seen to the local level, it was lower level court, and then we have seen that high court. Okay. So it refers to the whole state, and there will be one state high court for one state. Then each state has a high court which is the highest court of that state, and at the top is the Supreme Court, that is located in the New Delhi, and it is presided over by the Chief Justice of India. So we have seen that above this, okay, every state has one high court, then at the top is the Supreme Court, and that is located in New Delhi and is presided over by the Chief Justice of India, and the decisions made by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. So at the apex we have seen that it is the Supreme Court, and if it takes any decisions, then no one can, we can say everyone is bound, everyone is are restricted, means they should follow. Then we have seen the structure very neatly. So this is the figure of picture of High Court of Madras. Okay, and we have seen as there are different levels of courts connected to each other. So there is connection between these levels, different levels of the courts. Then in India we have an integrated judicial system, means that the decisions made by the higher court are binding on the lower court. So they are bound to follow the higher court, okay. Who should follow? The lower court. Then and the higher courts, the Supreme Court is the final, the higher court should follow, or the higher as well as the lower, they should follow the system, or they which are the rules or which things are followed by those two courts should be followed by the Supreme Court. Then we have seen that this means that a person can appeal to the High Court if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just, which is not justified, which is not true. If the person feels that it is not true, then it can run or it can go walk into the higher court. And also if the higher courts is not satisfying that person to that party, then who is responsible? The Supreme Court is responsible for taking all decisions. So let us understand what we mean by appeal system, or what is the tracking of caste. Everything in detail we are going to see in the next lecture. What is appeal? Okay, what do you mean by appeal? With one very interesting examples we are going to see it. So we will continue the lesson in the next lecture, children. Thank you.